To you about the offense in terms of stuff you like, stuff perhaps you don't like?
Well, I'm happy with the offensive line. I think they've made a lot of progress. We're better up front than we were any time last year. So the experience that we have up front is showing up. So that's probably the number one thing that I'm happy with.
Can you compare that to last year when you had several spots that were inexperienced?
Well, last year during spring, we didn't have a center, or we didn't have the right tackle that started parts of the first game against Notre Dame. You know, Mondek was hurt and just moved over from defense, so he never took a snap on offense. And then Peter Dry was still playing right guard and left guard, and we moved him over the summer. So we're a million miles ahead than we were last year up front.
Just with Justin Siller, are you seeing a guy that's A, healthy, but B, looks better at what he's trying to do? He's not as hesitant because he's had maybe, some time at the position.
He's been the most physical the last two practices since I've been here. I've been here 2 years, and the first year he was playing quarterback for me, and then the year he set out, and then last year he was trying to get himself back in, and he started getting himself back in the groove, and then he got hurt. But he's got a lot more aggressive, and he's catching the ball, he's understanding what to do, and I think he's finally converted over to be a wide receiver instead of being a quarterback out there in the wide out spot. I think he's a wide receiver now.
Is he just more sure about what he's doing?
He's more sure, and then I think he's a lot stronger and more physical than he has been.
Do you worry? Obviously, at that position, you have a lot of chronological age, but you might not necessarily have that much tangible kind of playing experience. Obviously, Justin has only played half the season. Obviously, O.J. Ross has only played half the season there. And Tavian's an upperclassman, but he hasn't really been a frontline guy for 2 years. And you worry about actual tangible experience at that position?
Well, we've had him for last year. We ended up playing with Gary Bush, O.J., and Tavian. That was our three receivers at the end of the year. They didn't get to go through the spring with us. Only one of them had one spring, the other ones didn't have any spring. So, getting them in the spring in the heat of the battle and going through the off season has been really important for us. And they've improved a lot. OJ I think he got 4 games of experience, but Antavian got a lot of game experience. So he's probably the number one guy out there right now as far as making plays. Antavian is, and Gary Bush has started playing a lot at the end of the year. Last year, and he's gotten bigger and stronger, and he's understanding what to do. So I think all three of those guys have improved a lot. And then we moved a guy over from the defensive side, Normando Harris, because we were lacking a little bit of physicalness at the wide out spot, and he's been doing very well.
Just assess what Rob Henry's done so far in the first 4 practices.
Well, you can believe it, he's faster than he was last year. He's lost about 3% body fat, and he's got himself stronger, and he looks exceptional when he's running the football and throwing the ball outside the pocket very well, and he's improving in the pocket. I think that's probably where we need to improve the most with him is throwing between the tackles, but he's getting better at it.
Just with Caleb, obviously he was on your scout team last year and handled that, but just how he embraced that opportunity and maybe worked to get better, even though he just was on the scout team. And is there been a carryover effect into the spring?
I think there was some carryover, and then, he handled it about as well as you could ask anybody to handle it. He went down there and competed and tried to make the defense better. And it helped him out some, but he is a little rusty running our offense right now. And he's got a big time ability, and he's getting better, each day. But he's a little bit rusty right now.
What about Marv? Is he just kind of off to the side? Are you able to do anything substantive with him right now?
Yeah, he's been very limited. With that knee, it's been just how many months? 4 months, 3.5, 4 months, whatever it is. He hasn't been cleared to do anything hardly. So he's throwing the ball, just standing there and stationary. But as far as being able to execute the offense at all, he hasn't been able to do that at all.
Do you almost expect deep down for this quarterback to go all the way into camp just because Robert won't be able to really probably compete?
You know,
until then?
really, we always, over the years, have went into it that way because you never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to develop over the summer and take charge. So I don't really see it any different. Sometimes you go in there with a 2 or 3 year starter and it's a little bit different. But when you have 4 guys on the team that's only got 3 games of experience, and anything can happen, and any one of them can emerge to the top through the summer.
Just with the tight end spot, is anybody catching your eye right now?
Well, I think there's 4 guys that's competing real good. I think the Gabe Holmes and Sterling Carter kid that we signed out of California are ahead in the route running department, and I think the other 2 kids are ahead. Crosby Wright and Justin Sins are ahead in the blocking department. So one of those 4 guys have to come along and do both of the things right, good. And right now they're getting better, and both those kids were wideouts. Gabe Holmes and Sterling Carter were both wideouts that we moved into tight end. So they're getting more physical, and they're trying. It's not like they're afraid. They just they need to get a little bit more physical.
What can Ralph do this spring? And just maybe if you could just offer some thoughts here on just that spot in general so far.
Ralph's been real limited also. He's, we're being a little bit overcautious with him for a couple of reasons. It was the second time on the same knee, number one, and then also we're giving the Shavers kid and the Pegram kid a chance to compete, and both those kids need a lot of reps. So there's no sense in putting Ralph in there when we need to get those guys extra reps. And that position is coming through. I think the Shavers kid's going to be a really good player for us. I think that kid can really run fast and he's physical. And I think Reggie Pegram, I think has got a chance to be a really good player. He can do it all. He can play front, the fullback spot, and he can play the tailback spot. And he can catch the ball out of the backfield pretty good. So I think it's a lot deeper group of backs overall with Jared Crank and then Jackson over there. And then we've got the other kid that we moved over. Gavin Roberts has shown some flashes of being able to help us out there too.
Thanks a lot.